Hello everybody, this is Caesar with Small Engine Velocity, and we have a serious conversation today. So you want to make your Honda Ruckus look cooler, style mods. And when I say style mods, I mean mods that really don't improve the functionality of your bike. They just make it look better, kind of give you your own little pizzazz as to how you want your bike to look, or to look different. Because I can tell you right now, it is a 100% fact that once you start modding your Ruckus and you start driving around on the road, people will open their windows and start yelling at you saying, hey, what is that? If you have any experiences like that you'd like to share, go ahead and leave a comment down below. So this is really just a video of the top 5 things that people do that are popular right now to make your Honda Ruckus look cooler. But before we begin, if you like this top 5 video, go ahead and give me a like. And if you'd like to see more content like this, go ahead and give me a subscribe and hit that bell. If you've been watching my videos for a while, consider becoming a Patreon, a stage 1 or a stage 2, which is $1 or $2 a month. But it's never necessary, but it is always appreciated. Now, keep in mind, this is all my opinion and what I've seen in the forums and in the groups and on Facebook and whatever for what's popular now. So let's begin with the 5th most popular style mod for your Honda Ruckus. If you've ever seen my videos before, one of the things I did was back here, I grinded off the bracket that holds the stock taillight. Why? Because it's very high and it's very meaty and it's just too much. People don't seem to like that. So they grind it off and then they put an LED bar, or they put the R6 taillight behind, or they go ahead and put a lowering kit, which is basically leaves the stock bracket there, but then you go ahead and lower it down so it doesn't have such a high profile. Because it seems like everybody who has a Ruckus, the #1 priority is to get it as close to the ground, if we're not already as close to the ground as possible, to be even lower down there. The 4th most popular mod that people like to do on their bike for style, and this is debatable, is the seat frame. People seem to like to lower the seat. I think the stock height is extremely high. I don't know if you've ever seen, here I'll show a picture of a stock seat, but it seems like you're sitting way up in the air, but then of course it matches the handlebars where you're at, but to me it doesn't look cool at all. So people either do the stock lowering seat, which is a 1-piece bracket they go ahead and put on there, and then there is a 6-speed, which is the double bracket, which I'll link a video up here if you want to see that particular seat frame that I put on. And then there's the Dorf, which is much more expensive, but instead of round tubes, it's a flat bar that goes across with a connecting beam across. So it's a single piece. It's pretty nice. People seem to like that one a lot. The 6-speed one is the more budgety one, and then the one that the regular lower, looks like the regular seat, but it's just lowered. That one is probably the one that people buy the most because it's easiest to install. The 3rd most popular mod for style that people do is remove the floorboards. Some people will remove all of the floorboard, and then some people will remove the front half and then cut it right here so that it still covers underneath the seat. But the #1 thing that whenever people do remove the floorboard is they always put a tank cover on, and there are many types of tank covers. There is plastic, there's fiberglass, there's stainless steel. I think I've seen even people make wooden ones before. But that seems to be one of the number 3 thing that people go for whenever they have a Honda Ruckus to set them aside. They think that the floorboards are ugly. Now, there are people that are team floorboard that keep them on, which sometimes I feel like I wish I kept the floorboards because it seems like it's easier to maintain, but this definitely looks cool for me. The 2nd most popular style mod that people do is the bars. People generally will replace the neck. I have a Password JDM neck right here and a Password JDM bar. It lowers the bars down. The stock controls still fit on it and everything. It just lowers the bars down, which normally matches when you do the seat. So don't lower the handlebars and leave the stock seat on, because then you'll be a scooter street bike type sitting. It'd be awkward. But yeah, people will do this. Why? It looks good. It doesn't feel like you're trying to make a scooter look like a Harley whenever your handlebars are right there. Now, some people leave it like that. I'm just not one of those people, and I don't see a lot of people do that, so that's not a mod that I would consider popular. But yeah, people also will put the clip-on looking bars so that they're more angled out in or angled down, but it's really all up to you. But it is still a style mod. The number one style mod, as far as I'm concerned, that people do is they want to do a stretch. Now, if you look here, this is a 12-inch stretch on the back. I'll move the seat. There's a 12-inch stretch and with an 8-inch fatty tire. Now, there are two types of stretches. You have a skinny stretch, which takes out the tire and then just scoots the engine back, and it's the same offset, moving it backwards, keeping the skinny tire centered. And then there are fatty stretch kits, which stretch it out backwards and then move the tire over to set the offset for a fatty wheel in the back. There are several types of stretches. There are 6.5-inch stretches, like the Pastor JDM that I used to have for the skinny, and then different brackets like Mojo and Cosmopolitan, these other types of stretches that will push it even further back. Generally, you'll need a lowering shock for that to make it compatible. Now, keep in mind, whenever you do a stretch, that you should have your handlebars done by then so that you have more throttle cable and brake cable to come down for the 6.5. If you do, keep in mind, if you do the longer stretches, you'll need to make sure that your bars are lowered and that the cables will reach all the way to the back. If you're doing the 6.5-inch stretch, then just make sure that you have the lowered handlebars and you should be able to do the stretch in the back. But generally anything longer than 6.5, regardless of handlebar height, you'll need to extend your cables in the back, including your throttle cable. An honorable mentionable is that some people like to replace the CVT cover in the back where the kickstand is with an ankle biter. An ankle biter is where the clutch and the drive face are open and you can see them spinning. It looks very cool. It also keeps the clutch and the flywheel, the clutch cooler. I personally don't like it because I don't like to I didn't want to get rid of my kickstart just in case there's a problem with the battery. You can always use the Kickstarter. You can always paint your CV cover with the kickstand to match the color of your bike if you wanted to, but I personally just left it nice and glossy black. Anyways, I hope you guys liked my top 5. If you have any debates or questions about what I listed here, just keep in mind these are my opinions, or if you think there's one that should be added to the list as an honorable mentionable, please leave a comment below. I'd love to have a conversation about this top 5. Hope you enjoyed this Ruckus video, and I will see you guys in the next one.